Ho, 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 and welcome to day 15 of our B2B Christmas calendar. In today's video, we're going to go through the auto-segmentation and scoring system that will allow you to actually build your own signals, but take the leads that you have, put them into segments, put them into brackets based on engagement of what they actually do, so that you can also ping your sales team and build customized flows depending on what people actually have done. So this is going to be more of a build along video where we're actually going to go through the process of actually building something, and you're going to watch over my shoulder with commentary on me going through the steps and actually doing this. You will have access to the template and the flow that we build so that you can import that copy paste into your Encharge account. If you stay all the way to the end, I'm going to give you an invite that you will get on this page that will help you be able to, let's say, really put this into your company, and how this is just one piece of many that will help you generate leads, nurture them, segment them, and work your business into a 95% automated marketing engine before Christmas. So if you stick along, you're going to get something at the end. If you just want to dive into it, let's just do that now. So I am inside of Encharge, and I just want to give you one shout on Encharge. Encharge is the best email automation tool there is. I haven't found any that is as versatile, customizable, flexible, and easy to integrate with as Encharge. And the reason is because Encharge is like N8N. If you're familiar with N8N, it's the canvas whiteboard type of flow builder for building automations and integrations. You can do that inside of Encharge as well. So what I want to go through is actually really two parts. You have a scoring system and you have a segmentation system. And there's really a couple of things for each of them. The first one, we want to add a couple of segments. So we have a different couple of segments. So you have, there really are, so let's do it this way. So what I want to build is I want to build a segment sync. I want to build a default scoring, and I want to build custom scoring. So what I mean by each of them, so segment sync is basically we will have three segments in our Encharge account. We will have a cold segment, warm segment, and hot segment. Cold is under 7 or up to is 0 to 7 points. We have warm, which is 8 to 20 points, and we have hot, which is 21 plus points. So based on if someone has these amount of increments of points, they will be in three different segments. What we also will do is that we will do a auto ramp up and down, meaning that if someone engages a lot, we will ramp them up in score, but we will also have this mechanism to ramp them down in score, making sure that we always have an updated list based on where people are at. And one of the reasons why we have this auto-segmenting system is really based on two purposes. The first purpose is to be able to just segment your list, like who are active, who are engaged, and loyal. The second thing is that we want to customize communication. And one of the aspects of the customized communication is we send emails and we run ads. Those are two parts of the infrastructure and architecture and strategy that we've built the past 10 years for B2B companies. So if you are in a cold segment, you should see our messaging and get our communication from us less often than if you were in hot. So we built up this system where, depending on if you're in cold, warm, or hot, you get a different frequency and cadence of communication from us. And the reason why we have that is because if you are not as engaged, we don't want to send you a lot of different things. But if you are engaged, you're really requesting content from us. And then we want to reciprocate that thing so that we want to give you more stuff. But if you stop engaging, We don't want to keep sending you the max amount that you can get. We want to ramp you down, making sure that you don't get everything at once or as often. So that's why we have a ramp up and ramp down. So though that's the core thing that we want to do. The next thing we want to do is we want to do the scoring. And there's really a couple of things for scoring. And that is activities on email and activities on websites. So activities on email, and that's like email open, email click, email reply, and you have activities on website. And this is like visits on different pages. Really, ultimately, that's what it is. And custom score, actually, I want to change this to custom pings. And custom pings is more the fact that we can set up certain threshold which triggers an activity. And an activity in this case could be an email, it could be an internal ping, and it could be something else. And really what we use these custom pings for is that we use them for pinging your sales team, following up on someone has done something or not done something or stuff like that. So this is really what we want to do. So the first thing that I want to do is I want to tell you that we have 3 segments. So you will have these imported when you import this flow, but you will have in people, what we're going to do is that we're going to have 3 segments. We're going to have them called evergreen cold, evergreen cold, warm, and evergreen hot. And in here, we will have that the lead score is less than 8 and that they have the tag evergreen. So that's really what we want to do. So I'm going to just add in these in here now. So I want to enter segment. And what we're going to do now is that we want to do this segment sync. So this is going to evolve as we go through. And I have segments now where there are 0 people in it because that's what I've made for this video. So really, what I then want to do is that I want to make this segment sync that when people enter cold, warm, and hot, they get appropriately tagged and ready for retargeting. Because one of the things that we get with this is that we allow us the flexibility to sync with Meta to run retargeting ads depending on those who are in cold, warm, and hot. So if someone aren't that engaged, we run retargeting ads, showing more ads to them about our brand, about what we do, but at a lower frequency. If they're in warm, they get a bit more. If they're in hot, they get even more. So they see ads all the time. And what we do is that we set this up as part of the auto-sync. And for the auto-sync, we do a couple of things. So we add a tag, we remove a tag, we add to audience, and we remove from audience. So really what this does is that it ensures that they are appropriately tagged inside of Encharge, that this is cold, so evergreen cold, and we're going to remove the tag from warm and hot. So that way, I'm going to do this for all of them so that you can see that, is I'm making sure that everyone that enters this segment cold, they have the evergreen tag cold, and they do not have the tags warm and hot. So I'm going to do that for all of these. So warm, remove cold, and connect that up. I'm going to take this and I'm going to update, or actually I'm going to do this. So building this in the first place takes some time, but it's once you have this works 24/7. You don't need to do anything with it, and that's a bit of the beauty of it, is that once this is set up, it's set up. You don't need to touch it. So now what happens is that if people go through these different segments, they get the appropriate tag. Now the audience is also here. So we have a custom audience in Meta called cold. And then we also want to do is we want to remove them from the other ones. So warm. So you can create custom audiences inside of Encharge as soon as you in settings, go to apps and click Facebook, and you connect Facebook to your Encharge account. Once you have done that, this basically connects automatically. So, evergreen hot. So as you can see now, if someone enters the call segment, they get the tag call, we remove the tags for warm and hot, and they get to the audience for which was called, removed from hot to warm and hot. So this is something that we then duplicate along the way here so that it is automatically synced no matter what. So this should then be warm, this should be hot, and the warm we can remove from and add to hot, and the hot we can add here. This is going to be cold, which we then can duplicate and add here. So this way, now all of these sync automatically. So when someone enters a certain segment, they get the tags and appropriate audience for retargeting for that segment. So this is the segment sync. Now we have these set. The next thing that we want to do is I want to add the auto ramp. And the auto ramp is a bit different. So the auto ramp, we use a recurring time trigger. And this is going to be 3 triggers because we have 3 segments. So we're going to do it this way. So the segment is cold. So every Monday at 9 o'clock, we run something. So we do this for all 3 segments, that every week on a Monday at 9 a.m., we do a certain activity. And let us say, refresh just once. So there we go. Sometimes this loads, sometimes it doesn't. So what we want to do is that we want to go to a change the numeric field, or actually lead score that is, and you want to do a check condition. So really, every single week for those who are in cold segment, we decrease their points by 1. Everyone in warm segment, we decrease by 2. And everyone in hot segment, we decrease by 3. So the reason for it is that if someone really engages a lot, they should, and have a high point, we want to ensure that they ramp down. The only thing that is different is that if someone is in cold segment, they can have only 1 point. They could also have 0 points because they haven't done anything. So what we want to do is that we want to check the field score, lead score is 0. And if it is 0, if it is not 0, or actually it is less than 1, if it's less than 1, we don't do anything. If it is not less than 1, so meaning it is between 1 and 8, then we decrease their points. And one thing that we also do is that we have a recurring time trigger for everyone that is in. So what we often also do is that we create another segment called under 1, and that is lead score less than 0. So I'm going to add this as well. So under 1 or under 0, that this is something that we trigger daily, and we, with these people, we change their value, so change their field to 0. Let's see if the change numeric field is better. Yeah, set to 0. So that way, that if we ever have a segment that goes down below 0 points, this basically cleans it up. And this is the auto ramp down. That's this activity. So auto ramp down. And then we have the auto ramp up, which is the one of the next actions. So basically at this point, we now have 3 segments where we tag them appropriately. We have a weekly ramp down. So basically we check that someone isn't, that if they stop engaging, or really if they engage at all, they lose a certain amount of points every single week, and they can't go down below 0. Now, what we want to do next is that we want to do the default scoring. So the default scoring is something that is a bit different. So that's the auto ramp up. So one thing that we always do is that we have an email activity. So if someone has opened an email, if they have clicked an email, if they have done any sort of those things, we do a bit to their score. So any email is delivered, any email is opened, I would rather say, they get 1 point. And then we can set this up. So you have every email that is open, you have every email that is clicked in any link, they get 2 points. And if they have any email that is replied to, they get 3 points. Now, the question is, we want to add a fourth one as well, and that is if any email is bounced, meaning the email doesn't land in their inbox, we want to decrease their points by 5. And an email can bounce for several reasons. One is their email inbox is full, or their email inbox has triggered you as someone that is not, let's say, a good sender. So it's been spam marked or stuff like that. So this is basically the default scoring. So at this point, if you send an email and they get a point, they will automatically transition through the segments and they will ramp down if they stop doing activities. So one essential part for this, for really running this entire system, is that you have emails to send. The next one that we really want to do, is we can set up activities for website visits. So this is more the custom triggers. So one thing is that inside of Encharge, you have your site tracking, and site tracking is your pixel. And one thing that we have is that we have a website builder. So we have a website builder. I'm just going to make a template or a sample for you now. So create page. This is going to be auto-segmentation guide demo. And in here under settings, I can add a tracking pixel. So I can add a script to the head. So I can then take this code, I can add this in here and hit add script. So whenever someone were to visit this page, I will then track them back to Encharge. You can also check and you can continue to check all these things as you go. But basically that gives me the option to have a trigger, which is page visited. And one example is that you are on day 15. So this page I can add in. So I can then add in when trigger when page contains, and then you can add your URL. So I can then say that if someone visited this page, I can give them a score of +1. So I can then, depending on our setup, depending on what we do, depending on the different pages we have, I can set up pages that, okay, if you visit the page, if you visit something that we have, we're going to give you a point. We can also give you a tag. And giving a tag is quite an interesting thing to add to this, because you can add a page view and then you can add in the page. So that way you will be able to see who has visited certain pages and you can do certain things for it based on that. So you can then, for example, say that if someone has visited this page and not the other page, and I'm going to give you an example. So one of the things that we have is that we have a video page and we have after a booking page. So one thing that we have is that we have this video page or VSL page where people can see a video of the service that we have and the system and strategy, and we have a booking calendar. And after someone has booked, we have this page, which is a booking confirmation page, but we want to have them do certain things. So what we then can do is that inside of Encharge, we can set up that if they visited the video page, of course we want to give them a point, and we want to give them the tag. So page view and the video page. And then we do the same. So we will then take the after booking page and change to this. We're gonna give them another point. We're gonna give them another tag, which is page view, and they visited the post booking page. Now, what we want to do is that we can add in a wait function after visit on the video page, and we can then send an email. So, or actually, wait the day first, and then we check if they have a tag. We check if they have the tag for the visited the page after booking, and we can set this to be, let's say, 3 hours after they visited the page. So that way, if they visit the page, video page, they get a point and they get the tag. And 3 hours after, we check if they visited this thank you page, meaning they booked. So if they have booked, they get the tag that they've been on the page that is after booking. So that way, if they do not have this booking tag, it means they show an interest in a video, but they haven't booked. So here we then can set up an email to then basically ping them on, hey, we saw that you checked out this video, but you didn't schedule a call, and then the follow-up. So that's one function. And now we're getting a bit into the territory of custom pings and thresholds. So that's one way to set up those. So what I would recommend is that if you have a series of guides, if you have a series of topics and pages and funnels like that, you want to have this set up. Simply due to the fact that you can then build a really, really custom flow based on your business case and based on what you really need. Another ping and threshold or system that I would recommend doing is that if someone enters the hot segment, you want to ping your internal sales team. And you can do that if, for example, if you use Slack, I would do that. Or if you use just in general, you can send a webhook, you can send an SMS text, you can create a lead contact and a deal in HubSpot. You can do a lot of different things, but let's say that you use Slack for now. So what I would then do is that I would set it up so that when someone enters the hot segment and after the remove tag, I would send a Slack notification to the team. So I would then do this lead entered hot segment. And then I would then take this, I would add the first name, I would add the email, I would add the LinkedIn profile URL, and I would then say the following lead has entered the hot segment passing 20 plus points. And then I would just do name, email, LinkedIn URL. And this will then be sent to the team so that we get a notification whenever a lead is here. Let's say that you also want to run some sort of automated outbound campaign. One of the things that we do and we run for our clients is that we run an outbound system using GetSales. If you've been with us and seen one of the previous days of this Christmas calendar, where we, among others, on day 6 had the outbound campaign, we used GetSales. And GetSales is a really interesting thing in terms of running an outbound campaign. Personally, we don't run outbound because we have our max capacity through inbound. But what you will be able to do is that you could set up and send this to an N8N flow, which would then add someone automatically to a segment inside of GetSales, where if someone gets into that segment, they get into this campaign, and that campaign is, hey John, we see that you engage a lot with our content. We just wanted to reach out and say if there's anything you need, we're here for you. That's one way. Or you can say, hey John, we see that you engage with a lot of the content that we have, and it seems like you really like what we have. We would love to invite you to a personalized one-on-one strategy call to help you see how you can use all the things that you consume in your business to help you grow. So you can build these types of things on top of Encharge by using this auto-segmenting and scoring system. So those are just a couple of ideas for how you can set this up, how you can build this, and how you can do this by having the segmenting sync. You have the auto ramp down, you have the auto ramp up with the default scoring, and you have the activities in email and website. So you can really make this bespoke to your company because it needs to be, because you have activities, you have a sales process, you have different things that are custom to your company. And that's where my invite now really comes, is that obviously you can just import this template into your account. You'll get the segments, you will get everything that you can see on the screen. You would need to connect it all up and you would need to add your emails. But really, this should be customized to your company. And this is just one part. One of the other systems that we have is that we have and use a automatic email system where, and I'm going to show you one of the templates, is where you will have content to send to those leads, send to everyone that are in your universe and ecosystem, where it's going to automatically help you send content and ads so that you can give people points, so that you have the leads to nurture them and segment them. But we are also working on content and assets that will help you do your lead generation in the first place. Like, how can you run your outbound and tap this into this as a backend on it? Because generating leads isn't the end, it's what you do with those leads. And also, we use content and we have a strategy that helped us generate 55,000 leads in 12 months without spending $1 on ads using organic content. So we have a system that is built around this, that we would love to give you a scope out of how to use. And that's why my invite to you now is down below this video and on this page, you will have a link or you will have a booking form that you can jump on or schedule a 30-minute one-to-one personalized walkthrough with us on how this entire strategy ties together and how this is just one piece to the entire puzzle of making your company and marketing engine 95% automated with AI and automations. So if you want that, the call is completely free. You can just click down below, find a time, fill out the form, and that call is booked. But I need to give you a disclaimer. The strategy isn't the best fit for every type of company, and also we require you to submit the form before the call. One, if you don't submit the form, we're going to cancel the call. Simply due to the fact that then you don't give us the information, we need to gauge how you should implement this. Secondly, if you fill out the form and we see that your business, current situation, what you do, isn't a good fit for this system and strategy overall, because it doesn't match and fit every type of company, we're going to cancel the call and we're going to tell you, and we're going to give you some resources that are more appropriate for you to get into based on where you're at and what your company does. And this is not to discourage you. This is just to set the frame that this call isn't for everyone, but we would love to extend the invitation to you since you've stick around, watch this video, and we believe that that could be something for you. But anyway, I hope this video was useful, and today's gift of day 15 in the Christmas calendar was something of interest. You can click down below, find a time, but you can also just click down below and import this template and just go with it yourself. But I highly recommend having that call. We have had that call with more than 200 people, and they really, really love it. They give us feedback like it's the best 30-minute time that they've invested. They learn more in those 30 minutes than what they've done in the past several years in terms of how to grow their company. And they really see how this could be used in their company to get away from being dependent on referrals and stuff like that. So if you want to join it, if you want to do that call, see if your company qualifies for the strategy, and then we're going to give you a personalized walkthrough. Aside from that, B2B Santa checking out. I hope this was useful, and then continue to have a good December and Merry Christmas.